Kia ora. Strong winds and heavy rainfall already arriving on the South Island. You can see on the satellite charts this big area of cloud stretching right the way across those southern areas, bringing that heavy rainfall on towards the western coast. And ahead of this band of cloud, some strengthening northwesterly winds as well. As we head through the rest of today, we'll find that system continues to move northwards, bringing with it the heaviest rainfall up through the ranges of Westland, up in towards the Canterbury headwaters as well. But we'll also find that wet weather by the end of the day, reaching in towards places like Buller, particularly up into the ranges for you. And ahead of that, particularly around these eastern parts of the country, strengthening northwesterly winds, particularly the Canterbury High Country, parts of Marlborough, and even across in towards, say, Wellington and Wairarapa by the end of the night. So we have got some pretty strong winds with us, and we are going to find the strongest winds in these purple areas, where we could find gusts perhaps as high as 120 kilometres an hour as we head through the daytime through the Canterbury High Country. So we have got a strong wind warning in place for you. And as we head towards the end of the day and into those early hours of Friday morning, we'll find the winds picking up through Marlborough, Wellington and Wairarapa. So some watches in store for you. You can see we've got a good scattering of activity across the South Island. Now, with a lot of this moisture coming in from the north and the west, the heaviest rainfall will be in through parts of, say, Westland, up in towards the ranges there, where we could find as much as 100 to 130 millimetres of rain about that main divide. And with those stronger winds pushing some of that rainfall across in towards the east, we've also got a heavy rain warning out towards that eastern side as well. And you can see those strongest winds through the Canterbury High Country and those wind watches up to the north. But in terms of rainfall, it will be the western side that bears the brunt of this wet weather. You can see in these accumulated rainfall charts where that rain is piling up. And those blue areas showing the wettest areas up through the high ground of Westland. Like I say, 100 to 130 millimetres of rainfall about the main divide through there. And that is not just on the western side, but also just to the east as well. And that feeds in towards the headwaters of Canterbury rivers as well. So something to watch out for in that respect. But for most of us on the eastern side, it will be the winds to watch out for. Those heavy rain warnings run right the way through till 7 p.m. on both sides of the main divide. And it's a fairly similar story in terms of our wind, with those wind warnings continuing right the way through till 7 p.m. on Thursday as well. And like I said, the strongest winds through the Canterbury High Country, where we have got that strong wind warning right the way through to the end of the day today, and up towards places like Wairarapa, Wellington, and in towards Marlborough. The wind warning for you, wind watch for you, starts this afternoon and carries on to about 4 a.m. first thing on Friday. As always, you can find all the latest information and updates to these watches and warnings over at metservice.com.